Welcome. I'm Janelle Kolaski, a career mindset coach and actor.
And I'm Amanda Dubois, a self-authenticity and prosperity life coach and actor as well. And we're your co-host of Mindset Artistry YouTube channel,
where we teach you the art of discovering and using your mindset
to build a career and life you desire.
Today, I'm going to talk about self-compassion. And the reason why it's so important for me today is because I felt like I was going through this lack of self-compassion in the past week or two for myself. So with all the things that I have going on, all the endeavors that I seek to accomplish and do, and the projects that I'm actually involved in right now, I pretty much got overwhelmed and was afraid of making mistakes. Because truth of the matter is, with this type of work that I do, I'm in the limelight. I'm putting myself in a vulnerable state where I'm going to be presenting myself just like this. Hello. Just like this in front of all of you. And so it can be very vulnerable and also fearful of making mistakes, because I am trying to do my best as a life coach, as an actor, and as a human being to be here for you in the best capacity that I can. And with that, I put a lot of pressure on myself. And because of that, I lacked compassion and denied myself of embracing the ebbs and flows of life. So hence why I wanted to talk about self-compassion, because it really became prevalent and needed to be in the forefront of my mind to extend that not only to others but to myself. So what is self-compassion, right? Today we're going to talk about self-compassion, defining it, and the importance of it, and 3 ways to help increase self-compassion. So is anyone aware of what self-compassion is? Please drop it in the comments. Nellie's here. We're going to be communicating with you. Drop the hearts, drop a wave, a hi, let me know that you're here and active. And again, this space is for you. So drop in the comments if you're aware of what self-compassion is. And, we've heard about extending self-compassion or compassion to others, but what about you? What about you? What does self-compassion, when does it become prevalent in your life, in your actions, in your doings every single day, right? Well, let me define what self-compassion is. Self-compassion involves relating to yourself or oneself with care and support during times of suffering. And those times of suffering could be the fears of mistakes that you may be having, low times in your life, emotional lows, physical lows, all these things that can cause any form of suffering, any state that makes you feel less than, right? And suffering, again, can mean anything. So with that, it's the whole opposite of the contrast, right? Most of the time we focus on being self-critical, right? We are our own worst enemies. We judge ourselves and blame ourselves for not being good enough or for not coping well enough with life challenges. And that's actually a problem, because if you do that, you're not allowing yourself to embrace the moment, as I wasn't recently. You're not also allowing yourself kindness and an open heart to understand that things happen. You're only human. You're not a robot. You're not going to continue to go 24/7 and feel like you're 100,000% all the time. It's impossible. It's absolutely impossible. So you have to understand the relevance of openness with your heart and extending kindness. And with that comes compassion. So I just want to pop over to Nell. Tell me what your thoughts are on self-compassion.
Yeah, when I think of self-compassion, I think of accepting myself entirely, the light and the dark, our shadow self that we don't show the world because we don't want to be judged. And I'm going to continue to work on myself, but I'm not going to be harsh and expect myself to be perfect. I mean, I've definitely been there before in the past. Sorry, you might hear my rabbit. She's chewing on something. So that's what self-compassion means to me: accepting myself where I'm at fully. And even though I want to work on myself, not being like, oh, you should have done this, or blaming, oh, why can't you get it together? Or why did you do that again? And so that's what self-compassion really means to me.
Amazing. It's the blame game. Instead of blaming others, you're blaming yourself for not being enough and not being capable in times of difficulty, right? So self-compassion involves one's experience of imperfection in the light of a shared human experience. So you have to accept yourself as well as people, because we're all the same. We're all struggling. No one is perfect. And if you think that, that is a concept that you should throw away in the garbage, seriously, in the garbage disposal, throw it in the dirt and let it get out of your vocabulary, because there's no such thing as perfect. Because your perfection or idea of perfection does not negate, it negates other people's ideas of perfection. What you think is perfect is somebody else's ugly or not so much. Doesn't matter. So throw it out. When you accept the imperfections, accept people for who you are and for who they are, and accept yourself, you're extending compassion, right? You're extending care, right? You want to make sure that you're in a sense of worthiness, in a sense of not separating yourself from others, because we're all here doing the same thing, living and trying to do our best and being successful and loving and all of that, like acknowledging our needs and our wants and our desires, and knowing that you're capable of that. So compassion consists, and we talked about kindness, right? So we talked about the idea of kindness and then self-judgment. Hello, Loxy, Robin, so nice to see you. So we have this idea of extending kindness and then having that self-judgment mentality. They are constantly competing against each other when it comes to self-compassion, because if you are constantly judging yourself, you're not extending kindness. You're not opening your heart to things that either need improvement. Maybe you need to be comforted instead of told, oh, that's not good enough, you can't make it. We sometimes need to be soothed. Self-soothing is healthy. Hello, angels. Oh, that's so beautiful. Hello. So you have to be able to balance that. Yes, you can judge yourself, but in a sense of a critical mindset where you're only judging yourself in a healthy way. And it wouldn't be in judging, it's evaluating yourself. It's not about judging, it's about evaluating your actions, your behaviors, things that you're going through, so that you can acknowledge them and therefore find a solution to help you through them. You're going to dig in deeper. We are the type of people that we want you to not avoid any of this. We don't want you to avoid painful situations. We want you to actually acknowledge them and overcome them. Dive in deeper and to understand, why am I acting this way? And is there something that I haven't healed from the past that's making me feel anxiety or stress? Is it something that someone else said? Is it something that a preconceived notion in my mind that I truly believe that I'm not worthy of something or I can't do it? Like, yo, Jay, you have a smile to die for. I'm assuming that's for you. Love it. She does. And so you have to really be mindful of where your thoughts are, from self-kindness to self-judgment, and having that critical state of mind versus the evaluation, right? And understanding that we're mutually on the same path, and not to blame yourself. So self-compassion is also, again, creating that balance, right? It's confronting the challenges. It's not letting them defeat you. We're not in the mindset of defeat. We're not going to allow any of these challenges in our lives to defeat you, right? We're not going to do that. You're not going to do that. With the help of us and with the help of your mindset and all the things that you want to do, you're going to understand that these challenges are meant to make you stronger, are meant to have you hone into who you are as a person, and your creativity and your life and your skills and your gifts and talents, your life's purpose, your true self. So those challenges should be embraced. And I understand I am so faulty in the sense of, if I come up to a challenge and I feel like I'm not handling it well, I get hard on myself, because I'm like, well, I dealt with this already. Why can't I overcome this right now? And it's because I didn't implement proper practices and tools in order to overcome the current situation. And that happens. And mind you, some situations may feel like it's the same, but it's actually different. So what may have worked in the past may not work now. This is why you have to have an open heart and an open mind in order to overcome the current situation and take a step back and going, okay, let's see what this challenge is for what it is as facts, not as assumptions, not putting your emotions in it. We're going to take your emotions out for a moment, and you're going to evaluate it from a matter of fact. What are are the facts versus what are the things that we are putting false thoughts to it. And then from the facts, try to find the solutions. Maybe there's someone else that can help you, or maybe you have to look at it from a different perspective. So it's really allowing yourself to be open and an open heart, and also allowing yourself to soothe, because in a state of self-compassion, you have this concept, and I'm going to talk about 3 ways to help you as we're getting quickly low on time, which are going to be writing a love letter to yourself. You're going to practice the yin and yang self-compassion process. And then you're going to work with somebody on a professional basis or have an accountability partner. So there's this concept. Hello, beautiful people. Drop in the hearts. Let me know you're here with me, that you're enjoying this conversation about self-compassion. If you can relate, if you're not extending it to yourself, it's very relevant. And sometimes it's very hard to admit that we're not extending ourselves self-compassion, self-love, self-care. It's hard because we have tasks and goals and things that are happening in our lives that we keep going and going and going, but we don't take the time to go and check in with ourselves and going, how are we? How am I doing? What do I need in this particular moment? Why am I panicking or having an attack or feeling a sense of anxiety or stress? And really taking that moment to dig deep and going, okay, do I need a break? Do I need a drink of water? Do I need to eat? Do I need to just take a walk? Do I need to talk to somebody? Do I need to revisit my goals and the reason why I pursued this particular task or goal? So those are some of the things you can do. But, you know, it has been linked that self-compassion links to, when you have a lack of self-compassion, it links to anxiety, depression, stress, because you're in a state of negativity. Hello. Right? So the greater self-compassion you have, the less depression and anxiety and stress you are susceptible to. Think of that. Because what is depression and anxiety and stress? These are low vibrations. These are things that are emitting chemicals in your body to bring it down, to weaken it. It has been proven. So when you are happy, you have a happy atom or molecule in your body, it excretes, what is it now? When you work out, what is that? Serotonin? Dopamine, there you go, dopamine. So, thanks, she's got it. A dopamine, it excretes dopamine in your body that actually elevates your mood. It elevates it. So if you can link that chemically into your body, that is amazing. That means you have the ability to change it and ignite that within your body. That is a beautiful awareness to have, to know that you can control the outcome. You can shift your negative state of mind into a more positive, which means everything is temporary, everything, and it will pass. So, and then there was a study that showed that that people that had more self-compassion are less likely to ruminate on their negative thoughts and emotions or suppress them, and compared to those of less compassion, that have less self-compassion. Yes, there have been studies about that. This is very important to your well-being, to your state of mind. So I just want to take a break, let that ruminate, because that was a lot of information, darling. And I want to drop it over to Nell. With all of that, where has self-compassion showed up in your life or not?
Oh man, that was a lot of information. It's good. She's coming at us with the facts here. If everybody's still there, can we get some hearts? Are y'all with us this morning? Sunday morning? What is going on? Yeah. I don't know really. I guess what I can say, because there was a lot that was said, is that it will make life a lot easier for you the more compassion you have for yourself. Even yesterday, somebody said to me, I noticed you're being a lot more active on social media. Aren't you afraid that people are going to judge you? You know, and that was a good question, because I told her, yeah, I've had a very successful career. I've made 6 figures for many years, and people have opinions about that. But guess what? I'm here to tell you that it's possible, because until I heard somebody tell me that it was possible, I didn't think it was. So let me be the example for you.
Yes.
So I didn't tell people for a long time, so I wouldn't be judged. how well I was doing. So then whenever I came out on social media to be a teacher again, because I was a teacher before I was an actor and model and be a coach, I didn't share my success with people unless somebody saw me and they're like, oh, can I have coffee with you? Can we talk about that? And I started to think, how is this having compassion for myself? How is this, I'm not valuing myself and like, so what if this bothers people? If I feel like I can help a lot of people not struggle the way I did, and I struggled for a long time because of lack of self-compassion and a lack of focusing on what I could control and what was good about me, it caused me to be afraid to be around people or tell people things because I was afraid they would judge me. But it's really about others. It's really about the external. That has nothing to do with having compassion for myself. That is not my problem. That is theirs. If you aren't doing anything to hurt other people and you're just loving yourself and that makes them feel some type of way, I want you to know that's about them, because that stopped me from loving myself and paying attention to myself for a long time. So in response to my friend that was like, well, aren't you afraid people will judge? I said, you know what? I'm coming at this, and Amanda is too. We're here to help you from life experiences. We do not want you to make the same mistakes or go through what we have, and we're here to share. And if you're going to judge that, great. We're glad that we're showing that within you so you can see that something in us, the light in us, is illuminating some darkness inside yourself that you need to work on. And so self-compassion is not only important for yourself, but for what you're meant to do in this lifetime, I feel, because then you're just focusing on you and loving what's great about you, and even things that are a little, I'm a little quirky, I'm a little bit of fire, but those are good things. So that's what I have to add about all that, because you talk about the dopamine and yeah, it's true. It's like you can, when you're happier and more in love with yourself, it's easier to get through life.
I love all that you said. Now, thank you for sharing that. It's true, because judgment is going to happen with or without you. People will always judge you because, like Nell said, when someone's living their truth and living in their light, you're going to illuminate the darkness within them because they're not doing what you're doing. So they're jealous. Or they're so in that it becomes judging. Well, why is she like that? Oh my gosh, she's so loud, or she's too quirky. It's like, dude, take a seat. I'm quirky and I'm loud because that's who I am, and I love it. That is the point. You're supposed to embrace yourself in totality. Everybody has different experiences, and that's the beautiful thing through this journey. It is acknowledging that you are capable throughout this process. Like Nell said, if no one ever told you that it's possible, we're here to tell you it's absolutely fucking impossible. Absolutely impossible, because you have to have this undeniable belief that it's possible. So I just want to quickly run through 3 of the things that I would like for you to do to help yourself during this process of acknowledging self-compassion. And again, this is in a state where you're dealing with challenges that you may be putting yourself down and saying that, well, why can't I overcome this? It's okay. You may be not in a state of mind where you're able to comprehend the situation, or you have too much going on, or you haven't slowed down. So many things. There could be so many factors. So be kind to yourself through that process. So one of the 3 ways that I mentioned before is writing yourself a beautiful letter. Write yourself a beautiful letter from your future self, though. I want you to write in the sense from your future self that already overcame the challenges that you have in your current state. Oh, I'm not worthy enough, or whatever. I accomplished that job. Girl, you got that job that you were wishing for. Be as detailed as possible. Write it from your future self to your current self right now, going, listen, you overcame that challenge in the most beautiful way. And it was just by a matter of fact of you choosing to love yourself, embrace the process. You opened yourself up, whatever it is, but write yourself the most loving letter, right? That you overcame these challenges without, and being informative. Be as formative as possible, being as detailed as possible about the current situation that you're trying to overcome. And make it where it already happened, because in reality, it probably is already happening. You just have to reach it. You just have to get there. That's a whole spiritual thing. But anyway, right? And sometimes you're harshing yourself. You go, girl, get up from your ass and get up and do it. Sometimes you gotta be a little harsh, but in a loving way. You gotta be in that what you should expect from me, because I am like that to all my loved ones. They know they can always come to me for a little stern talking, but with love and care. Okay. Secondly, it's the yin and yang self-compassion concept, which is considered, we have two parts in ourselves. We have the feminine and the masculine parts of ourselves, right? And they're constantly competing, and there should always be a balance, right? And so in terms of the yin self-compassion, it's extending and soothing kindness and comforting oneself during those suffering periods of our lives, and understand that we have a common humility between all of us, and we're all involved in the same process, right? And so being aware of that. And one of the ways you can do that is asking yourself this question in a comforting state of mind. What is one thing that you can do to take care of your emotional needs? Ask yourself that beautiful question. What is the one thing you can do to take care of your emotional needs? Okay, that's from the yin perspective. And from the yang perspective, self-compassion is known as the fierce self-compassion. It's a self-kindness, but it's taking action. It's protecting yourself. It's standing with others who have experienced the similar disharmony and in a clear and seeing the truth, right? So one of the ways of protecting yourself is asking this question. What is one thing you can do to stop others that are hurting you, or stop the harm that you are inflicting on yourself? Because we're always inflicting harm on ourselves. It's here. It's here. Right? So that's one beautiful way. And I'll repeat that again. What is one thing that you can do to stop others that are hurting you, or stop the harm that you are inflicting on yourself? Got to take responsibility for what you're doing for yourself. A lot of times we are our own worst enemies. We are the ones that are causing the most harm, because we're fantasizing and imagining things that are actually not there. You got to sometimes look at things as a matter of fact, especially when it comes to people. I understand that's maybe hard, and emotions are beautiful, but there has to be a balance. And again, the last thing would be working with a professional like myself and Nell. We are here, and we are going to provide a sacred space for you to explore these types of questions in a safe space, so you can be vulnerable enough to dive deeper into those spaces and understand a way to come out of it. Right? Working with a professional like ourselves, we're certified. We also have our own experiences that are going to relate to you. This is why we love doing this and being a self-coach. I am my self-coach. Being a life coach is we are going to use our knowledge. We're going to use our mindset to help you overcome these challenges. So again, with the self-compassion, we all have challenges. We all have hiccups. We all have things in our lives that can cause us pain and suffering. But most of the time, we're doing it to ourselves. We're doing it to ourselves. And I'm sorry, that may be hard to hear, but you got to take responsibility for your life. You got to take responsibility for getting up every day and choosing kindness, and choosing the open heart, and choosing the love, and choosing yourself. It's not selfish to do self-care. It's self-full. And that was the most beautiful thing I ever heard, is self-full, not selfish. Okay, so just want to revisit the three things. I know people are just joining now. Hey, Marissa, hello. People are just joining back. We just talked about self-compassion and what self-compassion is, and how it relates to how we look at ourselves during times of challenges, how we judge ourselves, how we blame ourselves for not being good enough to overcome certain challenges, how much we put ourselves down and live in self-pity and talk ourselves down and disrupt the dopamines that we are supposed to be living in a state of mind every day, which means getting physical, letting it out, acknowledging those moments when we're not in a state of mind, because guess what? We're here to tell you that it's possible. You gotta take care of yourself, because the only way to help others is by helping yourself. Hello from Sweden. Oh, I haven't been. I would love to go to Sweden. Oh my gosh, hello. That's so beautiful. Thank you for joining. So I want you to remember to keep going, keep living, keep speaking up for yourself, keep dreaming big, keep growing, keep learning, and most of all, keep healing. So with that self-compassion, we talked about 3 helpful tips: writing the love letter to yourself from your future self who already overcame that challenge. Okay. Second is that yin and yang self-compassion, which is acknowledging when to comfort and soothe yourself and asking those beautiful questions. And then also protecting yourself and asking, how are you inflicting this pain on yourself, and what you need to overcome that? What do you need to stop that harm, that self-harm? And where is it rooting from? Where is it coming from? And lastly, working with myself or Janelle, who's an absolutely amazing self-coach. I keep saying self-coach, who's an amazing life coach. who's going to help you with your career as well as your mindset. Here's the beautiful thing about having a coach or a professional in any state is they're going to help bring out the capabilities that you already have within you. There's a lot of blocks and behaviors that are blocking and preventing you from seeing that. They're there. I've had it. I still have things that I'm working through. Okay, we all do. But I want you to understand that it will pass. It's temporary. So I talked about self-love in a previous episode. We talked about values. Those are the things that are going to help you dive in deeper into who you are in order to overcome and stand strong during your journey of life. So I want to pass it to Janelle as we are getting short on time. Any last thoughts, any last advice?
Yes, I love everything you said there. And I'm a big fan of writing letters, love letters. I write them to people I love on my typewriter. I haven't written one to myself yet for my future self, though. So that's a great idea. And yeah, really focusing on having compassion on yourself. Sometimes it's hard because a lot of us can have compassion for other people easier than we can have it for ourselves. I know I'm that type of person. A lot of it has to do with conditioning. I grew up, my father was always very self-deprecating in a humorous way, but also because he was in a lot of pain. And that's why it's important that we deal with our shit. But don't be hard on yourself, because until you learn that's what you need to do, it's very common to just continue in life with your conditioning. But so I would say, really, focusing on being kind to yourself and self-soothing and giving yourself what you need is so important. And the coaches, we have coaches. Amanda and I have coaches. I have an acting coach. I have a life coach. I have a business coach. And I love what you said, that they all can see our blind spots. Or it's really hard when you're in your own head and you're trying to figure something out, and then somebody outside you is a mirror and they're just like, what about this? And they ask one powerful question and it just really moves the needle for you. Mm-hmm. And so I know for a long time, maybe for acting coach made sense to me, but I was like, I don't know about other coaches. I don't know if that's something that I really need, because I'm very analytical and I would read a lot of books and try to help myself. But just like in art, we have to collaborate to make beauty. And of course, there's great one-man shows out there, but some of the most beautiful art involves collaboration, if not directly. It's collaborating with nature. A painter that is painting nature, they're collaborating with Mother Earth. So really, to be able to move forward in life, we all need each other. And having a coach is one way to have that. And I love coaching, and it's fascinating because the people I coach, I see my younger self in them. And it's not like I'm doing that on purpose. It's just kind of like when I'm talking about what I've been through, people feel that and they're like, okay, so she can help me because I see she's on the other side. So having a coach that can do that for you, as well as coaching yourself from a love letter from your future self, I think are very powerful ways to help yourself. With all that said, I know Amanda has some really cool offerings that I would love to hear about before we go.
Thank you. Thank you so much for just all that you've said. It's a beautiful place to be in order for us to share our journeys with you. It's a beautiful place that we've overcome that, and we're still overcoming our things in our lives. It happens every stage in our life. As we elevate, there are going to be new challenges, new experiences, which is why it's so helpful to have coaches on different levels as you are, because they've already been through it, so they can help guide you through that as well. And they're going to bring out the best in you that already lives within you. It already does. You just have to really believe it and work and dig through in order to get to it. Okay. And I just want to say, be aware of your boundaries with yourself and others. Set those beautiful boundaries. It's okay. Extend that compassion. When you start setting those boundaries, you're allowing space to be yourself and also elevate in a sense of mental state, and you'll have a greater emotional resilience on a psychological level and overall well-being. Anyway, so I am a self-authenticity and prosperity life coach, and I know I don't really talk about career because I feel that once you are in a state of mind and have your true self, you'll find an easier way to navigate through a career or your life's path. So I have right now a free course for coffee with coaches. My mind is like all over the place today. I have a free course that is 5 essentials to combating daily stress. And it speaks to this particular thing, self-compassion. Okay. So it's not only about stress, but it's about anxiety. It's about depression that you deal with every single day. So I've created 5 essentials that are going to help you through that process. It's absolutely free. It's not serving me. It's serving you. Please understand that all these things that we're doing, it's all for you. It's absolutely for you. And you're doing yourself a disservice by not taking the actions to make that shift and change. With that, I also have a handful of clients that I work with. I would love to work with you. I'm a little harsh, but I'm going to tell you what you need to hear to overcome it. I'm not your best friend who's going to say yes this and yes that. No. And Nell can tell you that. I know when to say yes, that's true. But I know that yesing you is not going to have you overcome those situations. I'm a little bit harsh, but I love it because that's the way that I know I work. And again, I'm bringing my true self. And I know some people, you get the tender love and care. Sometimes it gets to the point where you don't take the actions. You gotta be responsible. You need accountability in your life to execute those goals and aspirations that you have. Okay, so I hope that helps. Listen, if you don't want to work with me, that's totally fine. Send me to somebody else. But I know that just like Nell, we all have our unique clients that are going to come to us for our uniqueness, who can relate to our experiences, who are afraid maybe to speak up and tell others how they really feel. Then that's okay. That's absolutely okay. We are going to create that space for you and know that it will surpass. You will overcome those situations. So that's what I offer. I will be doing a bigger workshop in the new year, and I will be dropping that information in the coming month or so. But in the meantime, keep checking in with us for Coffee with Coaches Live and our podcast that drops every Tuesday. I just want to bring it back to Janelle. Janelle is an amazing coach, and I know she has some great offers as well. And she has helped a lot of her clients overcome everything that they seek to do. So, Nelly.
Well, thank you so much. So I'm a career and mindset coach for people that want careers in the fashion entertainment industry. I've been in it for 15 years, and I really didn't have success until the last 7. And a lot of that was me. And I talk a lot about how you have to take responsibility for all that you can do. And success looks different for everybody. So a lot of times I see people will look at me and they're like, well, it's easy for you to say because you do this, this, and this. I'm like, no, that's my journey, my career, because there's other people, I don't know, they're very successful with commercials and voiceover work and something else that I don't do as often. And so what I try to help people with is really look inside yourself. What do you enjoy? What are you good at? What do you have to work on? And, take care of your health and rest and all those things. But you have to stay on it. And you have to say, okay, I want a career in fashion entertainment. I'm not going anywhere. And when I did that, that's when the table started to turn for me. And it's not easy. Great. So what? Are you going to do it? Or are you going to do it? When you wake up in the morning, are you like, okay, I could quit acting? Or you wake up in the morning and you're like, I think I would still be like, what if? And if you have that what if, that means that you're meant to be an actor. That means you're meant to be a model, a makeup artist, a director, a writer. One of my favorite films, Sister Act. Whoopi Goldberg is talking to Lauryn Hill. And she's like, when you wake up in the morning, if all you can think about writing, you're meant to be a writer. If you wake up in the morning and all you can think about is singing, you're meant to be a singer, girl. And I heard that, 1997? And that is something that stuck with me all this time. It's not going to be easy. But if you focus on yourself and really listen to the dream, it's there. But you got to show up for yourself daily. So that is what I coach people on. We kind of make a system for you, but it's all about you. And you have to find it for yourself. I'm there as a guide. And so I do one-on-one coaching. I have a few spots left. I'm still in the grind with you, so I don't take on too many clients. And I also have a free course if you're interested. Maybe you've been in it for a while, or maybe you're just starting out. But it's kind of like, for me, when I was about to quit acting, I said, all right, hold up. Let me write down a list of all the things I can do. Am I doing all the things? No, I wasn't. There was a lot I could have been doing. I could have been reaching out to my agent more. This material could have been tweaked a little bit more. I could have worked on my craft a little bit more over here. And every day I did something for myself. And I'm going to say this again, still resting. I'm not talking about a nonstop hustle here, but there was things I did for myself, and then the work started coming in. So the course is free. It kind of covers a little bit of all of that and how I ended up everywhere I was. So if you're interested in the course or working with me directly, you can send me a message. And also listen to our podcast, Mindset Artistry. Amanda mentioned it, but it's got a lot of good stuff, not just about career. Yeah. All right. That's it. That's all I have to say.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining us again. I know it may be scary to hear, like, oh, I need a life coach. I can do this on my own. Yeah, you can do it on your own, but is it going to be the most effective? The richest and top people of the world have coaches, have therapists, have psychologists, have coaches in their fields that are going to help them surpass. My coach that I worked with has a coach, and she's making 7 to 8 figures, I think even 9, and she still has a coach. Okay, so understand that it's okay to admit that you need help. It's okay to admit that you need help. That was one of the hardest things I had to do, was go, because I'm an Aries and Nell knows we hate relinquishing our control. We hate it. We want to do everything ourselves. But the truth of the matter is you can't. But with help, you will overcome that and understand the things that you can do, and you will eventually be able to do it all, but with a team, collaborating, and all of that. So,
what are your thoughts about this episode?
Drop it in the comments and let us know what you want to dive into next.
Subscribe, like, share, and click the link below to book a free consultation. And
we'll see you next time.